As we wrap up 2025, I'm reflecting on some of the other fun moments we had this year, the ones without palm trees or Hollywood signs, though I did have to include a Disneyland moment that you may not have heard yet. Welcome to Pop Culture Passport, your ultimate guide to quirky and cool destinations across the US. I'm your host, Beth Scalacci, aka the Roman Yeti, here to help you dive into the world of theme parks, uncover film and TV locations, and explore quirky museums, roadside attractions, and legendary venues that capture the heart and soul of this unique country. So grab your pop culture passport and let's discover destinations that resonate with your interest, not just with what's trending on social media. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome back. We made it through another year, and I'm here with the final episode of 2025. And I wanted to do a little recap on the year as well as share what is coming up. Whether you've been here since the beginning or just discovered the show this year or even this month, I want to thank you for being part of the Pop Culture Passport and Roaming Yeti adventure. Um, and yes, if you've been following along in 2025, you know that many of my episodes this year were very LA heavy. I had no idea that 10 days in that city would spark so many stories for me. Um, I loved every second of chasing movie locations and fangirling out on studio tours and following Walt Disney's footsteps. But I already have given that trip a spotlight of its own and many episodes, sharing my favorite moments. So I didn't want to bore you with going over the same things again. If you haven't listened to the Spotlight episode in June, go check that out after you're finished listening to this one. And all the other awesome, I had so much fun doing that LA content. But let's get started with my top 5 quirky and cool moments of 2025 that weren't in LA. So, let's count them down. Though one isn't technically in LA, but it did take part on that trip, but you'll hear it. Just hang with me. So, at number 5, I have the ghost pub crawl we did in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Um, we were hosted by Ghost Adventures on a ghost pub crawl in October, and it was a combination of ghost stories, Gettysburg history, and it was all told over a drink or two. We had a fantastic guide. Her name was Hannah. And because of the timing of the tour, it was the early afternoon one. It ended up only being my husband and I and the tour guide. So we really got a chance to chat more with Hannah, and we had a great time. We learned so much. I This was one of those things, we were invited to go to, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But like I said, we had a great time, and you can learn more and read more about what we did and stuff on the Roman Yeti blog. But if you're gonna be in Gettysburg and you want to twist on the traditional ghost tour, check this one out. The places we stopped that were, to get drinks were a lot of fun. So definitely something worth trying. For number 4, we did the behind the scenes tour at EPCOT, and this is the first time I've really talked about this. When we were there in August, we decided to take this tour, and it had been on our sort of Disney to-do list for a while. And we finally booked it, and it was a lot of fun. It was very informative, a lot of information um, shared with us. And what I didn't take into account, though, is when you're riding in the boats, you don't really feel the heat of the, greenhouse, but it's warm in there. So, I was sorta hoping for a reprieve from the hot August heat, but I didn't quite get it during the tour. But honestly, if you're a fan of Living with the Lamb, or you're just really interested in the science and how they're growing things there, book this tour. It's a decent price. Um, and My favorite thing though is if you're on the tour, you're sort of walking backstage and you're walking through the areas, and the people on the boats, you get the strangest looks because people who are at Disney a lot know about the tours and stuff, but it's not like a big advertised thing. So you get a lot of strange looks of like, why are they walking out there? What are they doing? So it's sort of fun from that standpoint too. And you got a sample. The sample was of a cucumber grown there, but hey, I'm gonna count that as a snack society expedition. So two birds, one stone. Let's just say. And for my number 3, place is the Artisan Works in Rochester, New York. Okay, I did not know what to expect. I had seen pictures, and I really still don't know exactly the best way to describe Artisan Works. If you listen to last year's, or earlier this year's episode about the O Street Museum in DC, it's a lot like that place, but no hidden doors. It is this massive arts complex, and it's tucked away in a former factory. It's a self-funded nonprofit space, and it's part gallery, part museum, with a little touch of fever dream, not gonna lie, but in the best possible artistic way. It's just so much fun. It's packed with everything from traditional painting and sculptures to then like vintage cars. There's themed rooms, there's collectibles, and I'm going to talk more about Artisan Works next month in an episode about Rochester. So stay tuned for that. But it was a really fun afternoon, Saturday afternoon, wandering around and just taking in the things. Kodak came from Rochester, so there was a lot of cool Kodak collectibles and stuff. So, it's definitely worth a place and fit into my number 3 top 5 moments. So number 2 is going to be Kings Island. This summer we were finally able to get to Kings Island for the afternoon. It's located in Mason, Ohio, which is just outside Cincinnati. Now, this theme park has 15 roller coasters, and one of those roller coasters is the Beast, which is a wooden roller coaster that holds the record for being the longest wooden coaster at 7,361 feet. It's a huge coaster. Now, I know you're all saying, if you've been with me for any amount of times, Beth, you don't ride roller coasters. You're right. And I was sure I was in for a long afternoon, given my family would be on 15 roller coasters. But no, the park is beautiful. It has such lovely theming, and there were nice places to sort of get away from the heat, because we were there in August as well. But we were able to get away from the heat and get some shade. And I mean, they had a Snoopy themed section, so what's not to love about that park? But while we were there, I was doing a little research because I was seeing signs and stuff, and I learned about blue ice cream. So this frosty flavor has been a staple at Kings Island since 1982 when it debuted along the Smurfs Enchanted Voyage, which was a ride inspired by the Saturday morning icons. I mean, who doesn't love the Smurfs if you're of a certain age? So what's the flavor of blue ice cream? Well, it's sort of a mysterious concoction, but it's somewhere, I think, between like blueberry or blue raspberry and cotton candy. I still can't exactly tell you. The color though, oh yeah, that's unmistakably Smurf-blue. Though the ride is long gone, that ice cream lives on, and it's become one of the park's most iconic treats, and even beyond the parks, like, it is known in that area. Um, we had to give it a try, of course, and I'm so glad we did. It was just a perfect way to finish out the day at Kings Island, and honestly, that park now has just a little piece of my heart now. It was, a lot more fun than I was expecting. And what's at number 1? Well, at number 1 was trying to hunt down the Country Bear's Easter egg at Disneyland. Okay, And stay with me. If you're a Disneyland fan or an Easter egg hunt fan, you know where I'm going with this. But I had heard and seen videos that some of the characters from the now closed Country Bear Jamboree could be found in the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh ride in Disneyland. So the Winnie the Pooh ride replaced Country Bear Jamboree. So, like I said, we had heard and seen that the Country Bear Jamboree, a few of those characters were still there. So we decided to check it out for ourselves. And we knew we were on the lookout for Melvin, Buff, and Max mounted to the wall in the back of the Honey Heaven room. Now, the only way you can see them is if you look behind you as you come into the room. Well, we were in the back row of the ride vehicle, which has a pretty high back. Um, and we were pretty sure we had no shot at a good picture of it. And oh boy, were we right. It's the blurriest photo of these three characters, but we saw them. You'll have to trust us that it is a true Easter egg. But the thing that was the most fun was we found out the two women sitting in front of us were on the ride for the exact same reason as we were. So I would love to know how many people daily get on that ride looking for the Country Bear Jamboree Easter egg and not just to ride the Winnie the Pooh ride. So that was my top 5 non-LA highlights. And now let's talk about food. Not that I haven't already been talking about food, but I want to talk about snacks to be exact. And as you can, you heard from a few of our stops, food and travel just go hand in hand. And it's from the snacks we pack for the trip to the regional foods we try when we're in a new place, and things we grab on the way to that place. And this is really the reason I created the Roman Yeti Snack Society. I launched it last summer on the Roman Yeti blog, and it's already evolving into an audio experience because I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. So this month I started adding audio files to the blog post, and it's now its own podcast and can be found on your favorite podcast app. So just do a search for Roman Yeti Snack Society, and please follow along and have fun with it. So, what can you expect from the Snack Society in 2026 and on the podcast? Well, we're going to have test kitchen recipes that, I find a recipe that's behind with nostalgia or a regional dish, and I sort of tell you what went right and what probably went wrong. We will have field reports from road trip snack stops and store hauls. The snack files. I like to say it in that X-Files voice, which will be historical and pop culture deep dives into, again, a nostalgic or regional dish. And then the snack drawer, which will basically be a roundup of whatever wonderful, weird goodies crossed my path in that month. I'm going to be aiming for the weeks that Pop Culture Passport don't. So it'll be every other week, and I'll just be rotating through topics as I do that. And that's going to be a little more casual, a little more sort of fun, personal, because it's more opinion than anything else. So, yeah, I hope you join me over there and get involved. And with that, be sure to sign up for the newsletter at theromanyeti.com because I'm going to be sharing a Roman Yeti field journal so you can track all your 2026 snack and travel adventures and even maybe share those with me throughout the year. And before we go, I wanted to mention another project that you may know if you've been following me on social media or already get the newsletter. So I created something called Ghost Trail for Frederick and Washington counties in Maryland. And why did I do this? Well, it's basically because I wanted to see if the format works. And in my opinion, it does. So what it is you go to there's a list of locations that I put with addresses. And when you go there, there's a audio file that you can listen to get sort of that ghost story or that ghost tale for that area you're in. Um, and it was just a lot of fun to do. It was something I wanted to try, and, like I said, I'm pretty happy with the results. So if you're in Frederick, I would, check it out. If you've tried it, let me know what you thought. If you aren't going to be visiting the Frederick area, you can still listen to the ghost stories on the Ghost Trail, Haunted Frederick. It's basically a limited series podcast. So if you search for Ghost Trails Haunted Frederick, you should be able to find it. It's also on the blog, or on the website to check out. But I hope to help destinations and tour operators build like some of these audio tours and audio services, because I know people like us like like those and get immersed and just interact with the location a little more. So if you know of anyone or a destination that may be of interest in building one of these, maybe it's a creator who wants to share their expertise, a museum, a destination, like pass on my information or let me know who it is. I would love to get an introduction and see where it might lead. I mean, think of the incredible stories some museums could tell with a few audio files. Oh, love it. So, as I close out this year, I just want to say thank you again, for listening, for exploring, for reaching out and telling me where you're traveling, and really for embracing the quirky and cool alongside me. To every guest, every destination that opened its doors, every listener who would play, I appreciate you more than you know. And I would love to know your favorite travel moments. So let me know on social media or click the send us a text button in the show notes. On social media, search for the Roaming Yeti. You'll find me. And I would love to, hear what you're up to. And with that, we add another stamp to our pop culture passport. I hope that this episode inspires you to get out and explore all that is quirky and cool, even in your own backyard. So follow, download, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Tell a friend and leave a review if you like what we're doing. It really helps the show to grow. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for the Roaming Yeti. Keep roaming and finding your fun.